Tuesday. We're going to give it just a few minutes. There's a slight delay before people are notified that we are starting. So as you are jumping on, make sure in the comments below that you are doing a shout out. Go ahead and tell us who you are, where you're from, and you can tag your Facebook business page. Good morning, Tiffany. Thank you for joining us today. We are doing a dual broadcast here in Inspired Nation and on Inspired Business Solutions. Good morning, Tony and Rick. So excited to see you guys here. I'm going to try to keep a lookout on all the streams so I can make sure and answer anyone's questions. But as you're jumping on this morning, it is about connecting. So we want you guys to go ahead and take advantage of being here this morning and tag your Facebook business page. Tell us who you are and a celebration, something positive that's happened with your business. Good morning, Carolyn and Sarah and Jessica. So glad to have everyone on here. And today's tip, what we're going to talk about is the power of communicating effectively with your referral partners. And so the reason why I brought this up is because over the last couple of months, I have been participating with some online networking groups, and there are so many opportunities that I see people could take a post and just with a simple twist be able to expand those opportunities. And then, of course, over the years, I have experienced being in networking groups and facilitating those trainings, and I've seen those opportunities where people have become frustrated with the lack of referrals that they've received, or it wasn't really a referral that they were given. And then, of course, the flip side is the person who receives, you know, one of the best referrals they could have gotten, and they don't really know how to repeat the process. So if this is any of you, this is what we're going to be talking about today on the Tips on Tuesday. But again, one downside to doing the live Facebook, of course, is it's not a live audience. And so the more you guys interact and comment down below, the more I can actually make sure that, you know, I'm meeting you where you're at and answering any of your questions. Now, of course, like I said, I've got several. So if you guys see me look off screen, I'm refreshing both pages, Inspired Nation and Inspired Business Solutions, just to make sure that I'm catching the different comments out there. And so we want to make sure that we have those opportunities to answer those. So let's talk about the first roadblock that I brought up, and that is communicating effectively within your network, with your referral generators. And so one of the things I want to talk about is understanding that your words will drive your results. It was interesting this past week. I had the opportunity to work with a client, and you know, they called me up and they were like, you know, we want to go out there and do this thing right. We want to go out there and tell people how they can help us, but you know, we don't want to sell. And so, you know, I was coaching them through some different ways. And I said, look, you have a chance to put a post out there, and you know, it's your first post. You may get something, you may not. But what you want to do is recognize that the more what you throw out there is what you're going to get. So referral marketing to me is we call it the boomerang effect here at Inspired. And so what you throw out there, your words, how you, you know, how you phrase them, what you're asking for, how you're describing your target market, but also it's important about who is out there that's receiving that information, because what you throw out there is what you're going to get back. So some thought needs to go into what you're going to say, okay? So when it comes to word of mouth marketing, your words are key to your results that you're driving back towards you. So you want to think about what it is, whether you're typing it out on, you know, social media post, whether you are at a networking event and handed that microphone or that opportunity to stand up and educate people how they can help you. You know, obviously we want to stay from the sales mode and move into more of a training mentality. We want to train others to look for our who, our target market. And then we want to hopefully engage others. If it's a long-standing referral relationship, you want to engage them into how they can actually recommend or introduce you. So those are action words that that are coming to once you've educated people on your who, you want to educate them on your how they can introduce or recommend you. And this is important. So one of the things that you want to think about your words. So we want to break it down and think about what is that target market. And yesterday in I think on all the Facebook channels, I put it on Inspired Nation, Inspired Business Solutions. I put a post out there that actually asked, you know, what is a life event that triggers a need for your product or service? And that's really where I like to get my clients to start with on the very front, is instead of thinking about how great your product is and how awesome it is or why you love it or why you've chosen to do what you do, I want you to think about when you're in that opportunity to ask people to help them grow your business, when you're in that opportunity to educate people on what a great referral for you would look like, I want you to think about descriptive words, okay? Descriptive words. Because if you're that person who's in a referral group or on a network and the information you're getting back, the referrals you're getting back aren't what you're looking for, then instead of pointing those fingers at everyone else, you know, those fingers that point back to you are more important. You know, stop and think, am I actually educating correctly? Am I telling people, you know, am I describing my target market in the best way possible? Am I giving everyone in the room multiple ways to think about that referral for me? And so one way you can think about that is to think about your target market having challenges that you offer the solution to. Your product or your service is a solution to this challenge. Now, remember, when it comes to referral marketing, you want to educate more on what the challenge is that you're asking people to think about, rather than how you're gonna, you know, come over here and solve the problem with your amazing product and your amazing service. In fact, in referral marketing, the amazing part and how you're gonna take care of them and customer service and all that is understood until you prove it otherwise, right? So we want you guys to, you know, you don't have to go out there and try so hard to tell everybody how amazing you are. Instead, take the opportunity and educate them on how to recognize your target market. So you can use things like when someone has this particular challenge, or when someone has gone through this life event or a business event. You know, when someone has launched their business, when someone has bought a brick and mortar, when someone has retired, when someone has, you know, moved into the area, when someone's had a baby, when someone's gotten engaged. So you begin to use these life events, these trigger events, to describe that this is an easy way for you to think about someone who has that potential to need my product or services. Now you can go deeper with that information and describe them a little further. Maybe where they live, or what is the particular challenge that this trigger event causes that is the reason why they need your product or services. So, you know, these are some things you want to think about. If you're not getting the referrals that you need, and this is the way I've heard this show up over the years, I've had people get a referral and, you know, they've been part of a group, whether it's, you know, chambers, rotaries, a formal networking group, or, pardon me, or online networking now that's out there. People will get referrals, and if it's not exactly what they want or what they need or what's a good referral for them, I've seen people actually keep that information to themselves. Like they'll just get it and kind of ignore it, and, you know, and then hope for the best on the next one. And then what happens is people are listening, people are watching. So if they see someone generate a referral for you and you accept it, there's no education to it, there's no correcting it, what happens is everyone else in the network may go, oh, I know that same type of referral. I can generate that for this person also. And so what happens is this domino effect of people that are generating the wrong referrals for you. And if you don't stop and correct it, then what can happen is you can become very frustrated with that opportunity and decide it's not working for you, and you could leave. And so I'm going to challenge that if this is you, stop and let people know. First, thank them. Thank the person for thinking of you to begin with, because they're at least trying, right? We talk about wanting, willing, and able. They're at least wanting to actually be a part of your referral group, and they're willing to actually bring you up to someone else. And so the fact that they're bringing you up to the wrong target market, you just need to correct that. You just need to retrain them. But the first thing you want to do is just thank them for thinking of you, and then ask them for a strategy session and sit down and say, look, can we talk about this referral? One, I appreciate it, but two, can I let you know why this really isn't a referral for me? In fact, it's a referral for someone else that I know. May I have your permission to actually pass this referral on? Okay, so you want to educate them. What I have found is that the more you communicate, the more transparent that you are, and the more open you are to realizing that not everyone is an expert in your field, and nor do they need to be an expert in your field, but you need to educate them, or what I say, you need to tell them to put on your referral glasses when they are looking at different opportunities. And so the first thing to do is, if you're getting bad referrals, go listen to your words. Are you actually giving people real information, or are you leaving it up for assumptions? True story here. And this is where I'll point it right back to me. Years ago, when I first got into referral marketing, I thought all I had to do was show up, nice name tag, business cards, dress professional, and tell everybody that, I was an accountant. And it worked. I was able to generate referrals for me. But what I found really quickly is that if I just stood up and told everybody about the attributes of our firm, then the natural assumption was that a great referral for me was tax returns. And while, yes, tax returns were a necessary part of our business, it wasn't necessarily the ideal referral that I was looking for. And so if I had just kept my mouth shut, what would have happened is everyone would have assumed that that was a great referral for me. They would have been excited. Now listen to what I'm going to say here. I have found over the years that when it comes to referral marketing, most people, it's not a lack of wanting to give referrals for others. It's a lack of being able to generate referrals for another person. Like, a lot of people just don't know how to bring you up, and yet they see opportunities all the time. So if you can get people to understand how easy it is to actually refer you, then the easier you make it, in other words, you have them recognize it and they are trained to bring you up, the better chance you have of them actually acting on it, okay? So let's assume, again, that they've acted on this and they have generated this referral, and you're getting it back, and it's not exactly what you need. And that's what happened to me. So I was generating those tax return referrals, and if I hadn't spoken up, then, fast forward years later, then I would have grown the part of the business that was my least favorite thing to do, okay? And so if you think about this, if you're given a chance to grow your own business, to wake up every day, or you're in a department where you're in charge of growing the company's business, you have a choice of what you drive to you. And it didn't take me very long to realize that if I didn't change my words and begin to paint a new picture with them, then the only thing that my referral partners were going to see and think of me was something that I really didn't want. So I began to re-educate and began to be very specific with my words. And I'm going to date myself here, but at the time, QuickBooks was really coming out, and so I wanted more QuickBooks clients. I wanted to go in and train it and convert them and get it all nice and neat, and then the tax return on the other side of it wouldn't be so bad. So I began to educate, and began to get everyone to think of QuickBooks, think of Amy, think of QuickBooks, think of Amy. And eventually my referrals started reflecting that. And then of course I had to educate even further. What was a really good QuickBooks client? And then it began to become very, very targeted to what I was looking for. So again, if you are not getting the referrals that you desire, go back and listen to your words. Do a mock stand-up as if you were at a networking event, or if you're going to type what a great referral for you looks like, then go ahead and type it out. Look at it. Make sure it's actually very targeted to what you're looking for. And then, of course, look at where it is that you're delivering this. Are you in the right environment? Are you at the right event? Are you at the right workshop? Are you at the right trade show? Are you on the right networking group? There are so many opportunities that are out there, and so you want to make sure not only are the words you're throwing out there, but the people that are there to hear it have the ability, not just the want to and willing to do it, but the ability to actually run into your target market, to actually look for your target market. And if that's the case, then as you can tell, you're now zeroing in to closer to your more success at your referral marketing strategy. So let's talk about what happens when you've gotten a referral and it's awesome. Like, you love this referral. Like, if you could repeat this referral over and over and over again, this could make a huge impact on your business. And yet you have no idea what you said that actually generated that referral for you. Was it happen chance? Was it just the luck of the draw? And so one of the things you want to do is go back to that referral partner. One, communicate with them and let them know how much you appreciate the referral, and also let them know that that was a really good referral. And if it's something, you never know, they may go, well, if that worked for you, I've got plenty of other people that I know that has that same challenge that, I can bring you up. I'm glad that worked out for you. Or they can let you know how it was that they brought you up. And then if given a chance in front of your other referral partners, maybe the two of you can do a mock, reenactment of how that referral went down. Like, talk of like the opportunity, the person, the target market. What did they say? What did they do? How was it that this person was able to actually bring you up to make that recommendation or introduction? And what I found over the years is that when you can create that scenario and other people can see it, one, they go, wow, that was actually really easy to actually refer her. Two, it'd be like, oh, I hear that all the time. I had no idea that was a great referral for them. Or three, go, wow, I don't know that that's a really good referral. I need to actually meet up with her or him and decide, say that I'll never run into that target market for you. Can we sit down and talk about other ways I may be able to see or generate this target market for you? And recognize that referrals can come, I say there's 5 different ways that you can generate referrals for your business. So maybe a level 2 referral, a direct target market referral, isn't something that your referral partner can generate for you, but they can bring to you what I call a level 3 referral, an introduction to other golden goose businesses, people who have the potential to be a strategic alliance with you. So there's multiple ways that you can grow your business. So if you're frustrated with referral marketing, take an inventory. Start with yourself first. Start with your words. Start with whether or not you're actually taking the time and really thinking about how you can train. Then yes, there are times you have to look around the group that you're training and really think about, are these these particular professionals, do they actually have the opportunity to actually bring me up, to refer me? And every group is a little different. And we talk about industry collaborators, strategic alliances, and power partners. What is the difference between all of those things? Well, for me, depending on what that group is for me, is how I use them to help me grow my business. If I'm in a group of industry collaborators, the odds of them referring me, if they're a direct competitor to a target market, is slim. I won't say none, because I've actually had direct competitors where we've exchanged referrals with one another. But what I want you to think about is, maybe it's not about a referral, but maybe it's about liking, sharing, tagging on your Facebook page, saying something great about you, creating engagement, learning from one another, and supporting one another. Industry standards, there's so many opportunities. So take an inventory of what you're seeing, who you're playing with, and make sure your words are appropriate for that event. And then I think you're going to find that you won't be frustrated with your referrals. You'll be able to get exactly what you're looking for, and you'll be able to generate, that success story that you're striving towards. Guys, thank you so much today for joining in. I am going to take a few moments to go out and look at the comments and thank everyone for joining us in today. And of course, if you're struggling with referral marketing and the 5 levels of referrals and the different ways you can generate referrals out there, or someone, which is a much better referral for us, if you know someone who's just launched a business, someone who's struggling with growing that book of business, someone who has, wants to leave a group because it's not working for them, someone who has signed up and it's time for renewals and they're sitting there thinking, I don't know that this is what I want to do. If you know an organization that is struggling with keeping members because they're doing everything that they can do as an organization, but their members don't know how to take advantage of those opportunities. These are great opportunities for us here at Inspired. Thank you guys for joining me here on Tips on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. Remember to join me back in here next Tuesday. And of course, feel free to leave any questions, even if this is on replay, because we want to make sure and answer your questions. Remember to go out and inspire others.